2, 1. We are live. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, everyone.
What episode is it?
148.
148?
Yeah, last week was 147.
Running gag is not a running
It's
gag
the
anymore.
gag of
It,
the show.
It's the only
No
thing
one.
consistent about this podcast. Only thing.
The only thing that's inconsistent.
The only thing that is consistent.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
we never know the episode.
That's what I meant. That's what
Yeah.
I meant.
But
in all honesty,
this is funny. This is interesting. Well, not interesting. I guess it's funny. I am predicting it's going to be a longer show. Whenever we say it's a shorter show, it tends to be a longer one. And so it's the first time we're saying this is going to be a long episode. So let's see where this actually does clock in.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, this is interesting. Interesting to do. But
I want to add one fun fact, though.
Yeah.
It's only because you brought it to my attention. But all three movies of Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, and A Haunting in Venice are available to watch and stream now on Hulu. If you guys haven't checked out those movies, they're fantastic. They're all directed and produced and acted out by Kenneth Branagh, who, to a fun fact that I woke up to, thanks to Adam,
You're welcome.
is Gilderoy Lockhart from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Gilderoy, the non-Magi, the one who actually is Magi, but he just took credit for every other witch and wizard there was and published books and ended up friggin' teaching at Hogwarts, questionable, is the same Hercule Poirot.
Same guy solving the
same man, the same
murders.
talent. Talk about range, you guys. Talk about range.
He's also Oppenheimer's homie.
Yeah.
Because when I was so I went to go see I would say Iron Man. I went to go see.
What year are we in?
I know, really. I went to go see Oppenheimer in the IMAX 70mm, which was the first time I was watching it. And it didn't dawn on me the first time I saw it. When we saw it together, I was like, why does he have such a familiar face? Like, I know this guy from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know him from somewhere, and I don't know where. But I was just like, but I know he's in a lot of projects, and I know I like his work. But what the hell is his name? Like, who is he? You know? And so I look it up. I was like, who the hell is he in Harry Potter? Like, the Chamber of Secrets. And I was like, no way. Like, I couldn't believe it.
No, that's insane.
I couldn't believe it. And
that's
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was still like fangirling on the fact that it's the same actor.
Yeah, that, and then because when I saw him, I was like, oh wait, that's what's his name from the Murder on the Orient Express. Like, I knew he was there. I was just like, what else is he in though? And then sure enough, it's Lockroy. Or was that
Lockhart.
Lockhart. There you go. That makes the first the names. By the way, when I saw Oppenheimer, like I said, in 70mm, it re-solidified my favorite film of the year.
Nice.
In my opinion, too, the best film of the year. So, spoiler for our end of the year discussion on the best films, because it's Oppenheimer's number one. That's just for me personally. Oppenheimer is number one. I know you told me what yours.
I'm debating on mine. I have a couple on the list for sure, and kind of spoiler too. Scream 6 is not on there.
Damn, that's crazy.
I know, right? Can you believe? What are we? Is this growth?
it may be.
Who knows?
Really?
Who
quickly,
knows?
Though. Oppenheimer in 70mm.
You went to go see it when it was back on, right? For the limited release.
Yeah, over this weekend, or I don't know if it was last week or the last weekend that they brought it back specifically in 70mm and IMAX to push it to 1 billion. That's really what it is. They said, they want to bring it back for a limited release so people get more opportunity. No, it's for the $1 billion. Rightfully deserves $1 billion.
Of course.
I was like, it can't be that much of a difference, right? It can't be that much better in 70mm. It is. Dude, every shot that was shot, because like not every single scene is shoot in like is shot on like the IMAX camera and like on a 70 millimeter like frame, or well, it probably is, but it's not like all of them are supported in that format, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
The scenes that are, which is all like probably a good like 80 to 85% of the film is probably in like the 70 millimeter. Insane. Or I
Wow.
should say IMAX. IMAX. In the
I think unfortunately I won't be able to. I work weekends, so like for me to catch, unless they're showing them like during a matinee, maybe, or during like possibly if they're like on a Tuesday deal, then I'll watch it. But honestly, I want to go see this film again with Brian, my roommate, which I mentioned that you enjoyed seeing, and it's also his favorite film of the year. And
Oh,
he hardly
really?
goes to the movies, honestly. I every time I think he's gone to the movies more this year, and it's only because of me.
The
He's seen a couple films with me. He obviously saw Scream 6. We went to go see Evil Dead Rise. We saw 10. We saw Oppenheimer together. So that's four films throughout the year that we've seen all throughout. For him, for me, that's like what, like average work, like less than average actually. That's like
that's a
like
yeah.
you're like okay, that's a lot for him. So I'm really proud and happy for him. That's for it to be. But I wanted him to, and we were bamboozled. Funny enough, and I know we'll get on with the episode, but we were bamboozled. There was a showing around, and I should have known because you had told me all the specific IMAX locations,
Yeah.
and they're none in San Diego.
Yeah.
And so,
However, I think you guys have the most true so IMAX in the film, like when you're a film critic or a film fanatic like we are, they call it Limax because it's not really real IMAX.
right,
And so that it's developed this nickname of Limax. I think the closest to us is actually in San Diego at like a museum, and it's the only like
oh yeah, that's right.
real IMAX theater.
It's at the Natural Science. No, it's Science and Something Museum. It's in Balboa Park.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's in
So
Balboa Park. It's the Science Museum where they have like where they film. You can go visit it at times too. And like that's where they have like their kind of like space odyssey type of thing situation. You can see the stars and make it more like see a supernova up close.
that'd be dope.
Um, but obviously you want to see a supernova in Oppenheimer instead of like yeah. So that's all to contribute to this conversation.
No, yeah, but overall, dude, oh my gosh, that is I don't like it was a pretty damn good experience. Full theater. I was happy to see that. I thought like when I was getting the tickets, because me and my coworker Joseph, the one who was on the show for Kills of the Flower Moon, we saw it. Like we went to go see it because I want to see it in 70 millimeter too. I was like, oh, perfect. Like let's go. Like I'm off. I'm off, and we can go straight there. Sure enough, I was just like, when I was getting us the tickets, I was like, dude, this is a big theater. I was just like, there's no way it's the same one I saw Venom in. And sure enough, it was. And I was just like, the way there, like City Walk's IMAX theaters, it's like it's huge, but it's very like compact. But then like you actually look at it, and then you're like, damn, this is bigger than what it looks. And it's really like constructed weirdly. At least the proportions of how everything is like kind of crammed in. Point is, Oppenheimer, my favorite, in my opinion, the best film of 2023, deserves $1 billion. I'm gonna be buying it. I want to show my mom and my sister it. I know my mom won't like it, but I know my sister could appreciate the story of like the importance of like what it has to do in like in American history. Oh, I would say even actually world history. Um,
Yeah, of course.
the importance of it, because I think my sister could appreciate it. My mom won't like it, but I still am gonna kind of force her to watch it. Um,
Yeah.
but like I'm so excited for it to be released on 4K. Like
Can
recently,
you have you been able to purchase the 4K steelbook from Best Buy?
it's already sold out.
Yeah, I tried buying it I today and I
Yeah,
couldn't
it's sold out.
like at all.
The thing I would suggest is going to like a Best Buy the day it releases and
And buying it there.
see if they have any copies in, because they'll get extras for those who didn't pre-order it, and they'll go on the shelves. they send the companies who produce the studios will send extra like
Oh, okay.
that are same day. So like for example, you know how like when the PS5 was being sold, you couldn't like it was you can only get it in store. You couldn't buy it
Right.
online. It's like that.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
I know, and that's an insider for you guys
That's
too, because
that's what I'm trying to do.
straight from the source.
Yeah. Well, that's just like a like yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do because I missed out on it too, and I want the steelbook. Enough of Oppenheimer. We got our topics for you. So of course we got box office. The Marvels, which comes out tomorrow. Which I think we're gonna have a review up on Friday. Um.
We will.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Miguel's confirming we will.
Yeah, we will.
Um.
I have Thursday off, so I have that night
Perfect.
planned already. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Are you gonna catch it early?
Yeah, I'm gonna catch it right after work. I'm off at
Okay.
3, I think. The double check.
Okay, okay. Then I'll probably catch it early too then.
Yeah, because we can shoot it, get it up, and get ready to go.
Running.
So Marvels is expected to be the biggest flop. However, the MCU is quote unquote in shambles, and we'll talk a little bit about it being in shambles, but we're gonna focus on the Marvels. Um, and what's going on with that? Stranger Things 5 script. If you haven't seen this, the writers of Stranger Things, they posted on their social media, posting some of the script. And SAG-AFTRA is the strike going on. AMTPT, is that how you say it? I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
Studios basically and the streaming services are a big bunch of a-holes, and we're gonna get right into that at the end of the show because that is the cherry on top. Um, but
Insane.
if you already haven't, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out on our social media on Instagram and on TikTok and Twitter. Those links will be down in the description below. But if you haven't, hit the bell notification and just do us a favor, send this to one person that you may think like movies. That's all we ask. Share with one person.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Please and
Please
thank you.
and thank you. Please and thank you. Let's get right into the box office. I'm gonna burn right through them. And then we'll talk about them after. Coming in at number 5 is Radical, making $2.7 million. It's currently sitting at $7.7 million. 2.6 of that being domestic, and 5 million of that being international. Coming in at number 4 is Priscilla. That made $5.1 million and is currently sitting at 5.3. Coming in at number 3 is Killers of the Flower Moon, which made $6.9 million, currently sitting at $119 million, 52 of that being domestic, and 66 of that being international. Coming in at number 2 is the Taylor Swift's Era Tour, making $13.6 million, currently sitting at $231 million, 166 of that being domestic, and 65 of that being international. And coming in at number 1 for the second straight week is Five Nights at Freddy's, making $19 million even, bringing its grand total up to 218, 114 of that being domestic, and 104 of that being international.
Let's go.
Thoughts on the box office?
Nice. Radical is based on a true story and has one of Mexican most notorious Mexican actor Eugenio Derbez as the lead, and something that I am looking forward to go check it out. Priscilla is a movie I'm going to catch soon because I'm excited to see that version. I didn't see Elvis though.
You mean Priscilla?
Yeah, with Priscilla, but like how I didn't get a chance to see Elvis though. So I'm kind of
Oh,
like thinking of doing like a double feature and seeing
gotcha.
both perspectives.
Gotcha.
Um, Taylor Swift, obviously, because of Flower Moon killing it. My roommate Anthony is actually watching it right now as we're recording it. So I told
Oh,
him
wow.
like, do your pee breaks before, get enough snacks, don't hydrate too much. It's gonna be a fun ride. It's probably like 10 minutes longer than Oppenheimer, but it'll burn through. And Five Nights at Freddy's is another movie I want to watch, mostly because of Josh Hutcherson, not because of the plot. I don't know what's going on in that movie, but I'm excited to see Josh Hutcherson again on the big screen. So, and last week I mentioned that there was, I think I mentioned it. There was a secret screening for a film. That was I didn't end up going because I got sick over the weekend. But that ended up being a soccer movie, and I
Mexico
think
wins. Yeah.
I think it might have been Radical.
No, no, no. It's next. It
It's
was next goal
it's
wins.
yeah. Yeah, which one?
Next goal wins.
That one. That one. That one. That
Is
one.
Radical
That's the
about
one.
soccer?
No, Radical. I thought it was because
Oh,
the poster was misleading, but no, that's different.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, no. So yeah, if you guys got a chance to see it, I don't know.
I want to check it out because it's Taika Waititi, and he's directing as well as starring in it. So I have interest in seeing it there. I don't know anybody else in it,
Hmm,
but
neither do I.
yeah,
Taika, that
yeah,
guy, what a character.
yeah. Really. Really quick.
But no, that's all.
Yeah, Priscilla. I haven't seen any reviews on it. I do want to see it though. I didn't see Elvis either. I may check it out. Five Nights at Freddy's. It's funny. It's funny that you say you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it for the plot, and really just Josh Hutcherson. Film has way too much freaking plot. But it's still good
Yeah,
film. Good film. Good film.
yeah. We
Um,
discussed what sequel territory,
oh,
right?
100%. 200 million sequel territory.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um, let's jump right into the MCU.
Oh, let's talk about the MCU.
So the Marvels released their most recent, or their final trailer for the film on Monday Night Football at halftime, and it was a tribute video, but also a trailer to the film. Obviously, it felt like a hey, don't forget this film is included in the Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of film. That's what I felt like I was watching. Because let's be real, nobody cares about this movie. Like I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. We don't like nobody cares. Those majority of the people who are seeing it are simply seeing it because it's it's the MCU.
I'm at kind of on a crossroads with this one. The trailer itself did feel one. My biggest thing is the trailer. This should have been the first trailer. However, it shouldn't have included scenes of Iron Man or an in game, like with like Steve
Yeah,
Rogers and stuff like that. At this point, with how it's like prediction of the box office is going, I see what studios are doing to try to push and have people in the seats, buy tickets, and have revenue. I get that. However, I think it's a little too late, buddy, because it's kind of like it's been in shambles for a while. You guys are trying to figure things out. You did give us a couple good shows. I feel a lot for Iman right now. I think this would have been a great opportunity for her to be like interviewed and everything during like get to know her a little more, get to like see more of that side of her as a person through the red carpet or interviews or any type of like press tour that they're doing. But because of the strikes and everything going on, that is not part of it, unfortunately.
I think.
I could be wrong though. I haven't really followed up exactly with what movies are affected. I know some movies, like for example, the Songbirds, the Hunger Games movie was accepted for, and they're doing their press tour. So far,
Yeah,
it's doing good. People are talking about it. It was trending literally a couple of days ago, I think yesterday and today. But with it, it just felt like now I know who this villain is because in the original trailer, I don't know who the heck this
yeah,
villain was. As someone that like hasn't read comics like that and doesn't know who that may be, and I feel like there should be a level of like an audience. It seems so far that there's plot that she's picking up after what Thanos had left
yeah,
or doing. Now I get that, and then
yeah,
now there's another stake at the stakes are high, and now we have this whole thing of like three of them, and I'm excited to see all of them because we've had character development for all three of them. I'm excited for that. But as a movie itself, like I care for it in the sense where like I care for these characters, but I'm worried about how they're gonna handle them within the movie. And where that leads them to. Because I think there was reports, I think maybe, and this could have been clickbait as well, that Brie Larson was thinking of leaving the MCU.
that's
Um,
that was the. I remember when that surfaced that she was really thinking about it, but it was also at the time of Comic-Con. I think it was last year when they interviewed her saying like, oh, like, are you excited to be are they asked her about like her fate as like Captain Marvel moving forward, and she's like, oh, I don't know, does anybody even want to see me like back, like, and then they're like, oh, like, what do you mean? And she's like, 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 she's like, you know what I mean, like, does anybody even want a sequel to like Captain Marvel? And kind of just like you know, trying to play victim in the sense of like, she comes out and wants to be the center of attention, but then, is trying to get that retracted. Look, the thing with Brie Larson is just how poorly she was written in her own film, and then how much she got hyped up to be a this big, like, next stronger than Thor, strongest, character in the MCU, but yet we haven't got anything enough to say, hey, why is she important? They put her in the spotlight, and she hadn't done her time. She hasn't, gone
Yeah,
through the
and
ringer.
that's what worries me overall because I don't want to repeat again of that happening. And obviously, I'm going into this movie during for its premiere like with open arms and open and open mind because I really want them to do better with this specific uh character. But I'm mostly more excited for Iman. I want to see how her character grows and if she's going to continue to grow within the MCU because I think she's one of the more likable new characters that we've seen. Um, but I don't know. The MCU, the state of the MCU is in shambles right now. I don't know how they're going to be able to fix it. There is apparently another thing that I saw that Robert Downey Jr. was in talks of coming back and that he said he would.
Look, let me is like okay.
If him coming back though destroys like that end
No,
game
it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And here's why.
for his character arc,
No,
I fear. Like,
here in my I strongly disagree with this. One, because when
but are you biased?
no
Because
no no
you love
no
Iron Man.
no I do love Iron Man. Here's the thing though. I've been saying it from the beginning. Those original six Avengers, there's no way they're not in Secret Wars. There's no way. There's no way
Right.
they're not. There's like that. Something. Now, do not get me wrong. Secret Wars is not looking very promising right now. Same thing with Kang Dynasty. Like those seem like, hey, we're not even like those scheduled release dates, even though they already got pushed back. Seems like we're still 5-6 years away from them. Especially like we say, Marvel is somewhat in a bit of a shambles. I don't know if the panic button is to be pressed just yet. Depending on how the Marvels does, and we actually see what the box office reflects at the end of its theater run, then maybe you press the panic button. Because it's not looking good at the.
Yeah.
But the thing, like me personally, no, it doesn't. Because honestly, when Endgame happened, it felt like, hey, this is goodbye to our original storyline, and this is only goodbye to this is a goodbye to our original 6 Avengers for now. Sure, some of them have been killed off, some of them are retired, some of them, are inactive. Me personally, I was just like, there's no way. There's no way. You want to know why? Because the next Avenger film is going to come out. It's going to be big. They're going to set it up. And at that point, the MCU was at its peak. I feel like a lot of us should have known at the time that was probably the best it was ever going to get in Endgame. We were on an 11-year journey, and we're unfortunately they don't know what they've been doing. However, like I don't fully believe Marvel is in shambles or hitting a panic button because Feige just cleared house on Daredevil Born Again. If that doesn't say he is not taking things serious, I don't know what does. Is it a little late, or maybe should have come a little sooner? That's up for, I think, the individual thing. Robert Downey Jr. coming back, me personally, I don't think it's an issue because I feel like we all knew he'd be back in Secret Wars. And if you didn't think he was going to be back in Secret Wars, I think that's you just kind of choosing to ignore that. Like a film that is already rumored to be so freaking big, there's no way Black Widow, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, our original 6 aren't going to be involved. Will they have the center of attention role? Probably not. The story won't focus on them. They'll probably come out of a portal with Doctor Strange to save our Avengers.
But it's safe to say though they're using this as a form of getting people back in the seats.
100%. They want people talking about the MCU.
Yeah.
That and what was it?
That was kind of panic button, but not there yet. It really does depend on the Marvels.
I can agree that it is somewhat of panic. I will say that it is.
I think it sounds like last resort, especially like, why did they include them in the trailer? When it's
Yeah.
not even having to deal with them, they just showed them, and they only showed them two,
Yeah.
not the rest of the gang. It just sounds like, yeah, let's put two of our
Well,
figureheads, which kind of like diminish. I mean, obviously, I know, like Black
it's
Widow's dead. um,
I think another thing I want to throw out right here is why did Craven the Hunter specifically show spiders in their trailer? To know that it's connected to Spider-Man. You do this because maybe people don't know. Like, Endgame's
yeah,
5 years ago now.
damn.
Is it 5 years?
You keep throwing me
Four
like
years.
you
Four
said
years.
11 years, and I'm like 4 years. Like, whoa,
Four
where's the
four
time gone?
4 years. Endgame is 4 years actual from release. 5 years in the MCU timeline. Um, some people have left. There's a lot of new MCU fans. There's a lot. There's a lot of people who follow. Maybe we're not all fans right now, but we're still
Yeah,
following it. The newer fans who came on late, because I know a lot of people who jumped on the wagon at WandaVision, which trips
yeah,
me out.
yeah. That would because it's because they probably like the character
Yeah,
in its own right, and that's due to Endgame because we saw her well in Endgame and Infinity War specifically. Um, and I'm glad you brought that up because as the lead up to the Marvels, the best I can say for those who are non-Marvel fans who weren't as committed, they weren't part of the 11-year process, such as we are the rest of the MCU fans were. If you haven't watched, and obviously if you haven't watched the first one, go watch the first one. But if you're gonna watch the second one, you're gonna watch the Marvels, you have to at least have seen WandaVision, and you have at least had to seen Miss Marvel on Disney Plus
true.
because you won't understand who these characters are. You're going to be going into this movie not knowing who they are. They're not going to give you a brief background, probably not. They might give you a recap in a funny way, in a Luis type of way.
Yeah,
um, but you know that's what's going on. If you don't want to watch all those two shows, go watch a Miss Mojo recap or whatever,
that
and
or
then go into the movie.
Marvel now has this thing on Disney Plus called Marvel Legends, where they'll release the same day as the film on Disney Plus, and it recaps the main character's story throughout the MCU so far.
Right.
So they've done that, which I think is cool. I haven't watched a single one of them just because
I think I saw
I know,
the WandaVision one. I think that was the WandaVision, the Wanda one
Yeah,
with Scarlet Witch.
yeah.
Hers is
Um,
nice,
here
and they're not long. They're like 10 minutes, maybe.
at most,
Yeah, tops.
some of them are
They're not
like
gonna give you like
five,
a
4 minutes.
Yeah, they're way shorter than this podcast.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so
I want to talk about things that are confirmed. So there are some rumors, and I think spoilers that I've at least seen of the Marvels. Me personally, I don't care because it's kind of just like, oh, what this is obvious that this is the if this is true, it's clear this is the direction we're trending in. Especially with all three of these projects coming together. Point is, they they straight up showed Valkyrie in this new trailer.
they did.
Which, I mean, do not get me wrong. People are like, oh, Marvel showed Valkyrie because it wanted more people in the seats. That ain't gonna do it. That may get, oh, okay, Valkyrie's gonna be maybe you get one or two tickets. That's not like showing, let's say Doctor Strange was gonna be in it, or like Shang-Chi, or She-Hulk, or even Daredevil. It's not something like that. You know.
Yeah. Also, too, if it's gonna be a galactic or galaxy level threat, you're gonna want to have characters such as Valkyrie, who is literally the ruler of New Asgard,
Mhm.
involved because she kind of took up on Thor's role in that sense, obviously, and then also maybe even the Guardians, the new roster of the Guardians. Who knows? That's pushing it,
Yeah.
but everybody would love to see Rocket one more time in the gang, see how they're doing. But if it's like more of a galactic type of like level threat, there has to be a reason for her to be there. So now at this point, why? And this character is new villain is now the question, and whether
Dar Ben.
she, uh-huh.
I'm not gonna say where she's from, where she appears, her first comic appearance. Just saying that's all you kind of need to know. If you read it, if you look it up, that's the direction they're heading in. If you actually start to like deep dive into
Okay,
Marvel,
what's that? Because I don't know.
I'll tell you off screen. Because
Ah,
it can be
no.
it can be spoiler. Or you know what? Just look it up. Don't say anything. Just look up Darben hyphen
Arben. How do
Dar
you spell that?
Dar hyphen Ben,
Okay.
two N's. Don't say it. Just just in case it's spoiler for some people listening. And if Valkyrie was spoiler, not really. The trailer came out.
Yeah.
They
The
broadcasted it
trailer
to
did give
millions of
off
people.
clickbait though. Like if you watch it, you're like, what? You're
It's
just
like our
like,
titles. You
oh,
know.
I spelled this wrong. Yeah.
Um.
Okay.
So me personally, obviously, I'm to be honest, I'm excited for this film. I'm excited. I hate to say it like this. I'm excited for everybody in this film involved except for kind of Brie Larson. I want redemption for her role, but I'm so excited to see
Me too.
Monica
But you,
Rambeau be in action and Iman be. Because like I'm gonna be honest, I loved Miss Marvel. I
I
loved
love
Miss
this
Marvel.
Marvel too. She's such a good actress, and
But
I
even the show, like entirely, like I loved the family dynamic. I love how much support she had from her
yeah,
community in that show.
absolutely. I think
And
they did a really good job with
yeah,
Miss Marvel.
whether you like it or not, it was fun, and that's what the MCU needed when it came out.
Yeah.
But point is, it's currently tracking at a lower box office than Black Adam and The Flash, which are the two biggest flops for superhero films. Thoughts on that?
Oh, that's not looking good, man. Because both of those movies did terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the box office in terms of his performance, to this day, I haven't seen Black Adam, nor do I want to be honest.
Don't
I kind
blame
of
you.
have an ick with it comes to Dwayne Johnson. Like, I feel like I just a single note again. Like, there's actors out there that like they try to play different characters and they end up just being playing themselves. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
I understand that, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's like, oh, that's just who can I say? Certain actor being himself, and Charlie Day, right?
Yeah.
Same Charlie Day, right? Dwayne Johnson, same thing. I'm kind of like, oh man, one note, and I'm kind of just over it, and I don't want to see him. However, I it's that's scary to me because no way in hell should they be in the same lane, and they are, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's all due to the traction the studio has had, and everything going on moving forward. And obviously it's in a tight spot. It's in a corner. It just sucks to be in that position again. I bet the actresses are like stressed out about it. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're just like, whatever. We're proud of what we made and continue and promote it and continue to do that. I'm just a little upset that Iman couldn't get her red carpet like moment or something like that. Like I
She's
would love to see that, to see all three of them,
yeah,
be
yeah.
interviewed, share it exactly. Like I want to see that behind the scenes type of thing. Like, how was your first day on set, Iman? Like things like that. And she was so excited. I remember seeing that Zoom call where she got the role, where she got the part for Miss Marvel, and she was just so like thrilled, and you could just see it in her eyes. And that's something that shouldn't be robbed from.
Mhm.
But other than that, it's scary, and I hope it doesn't flop. I hope it does wonders, and I think they better do a good job on the sequel because it's kind of on them at this point if they don't.
Yeah. I feel you. I think Amon got red carpet for the Marvel or for Miss Marvel. A little different in the sense of it's a TV show. It's not fully as promoted and fully fleshed out the way the movie premieres are done.
Of
Um
course, yeah.
However, I want to look at the lowest, or I want to kind of read off the lowest films in the MCU. So as of right now, the lowest making film, I believe, is The Incredible Hulk. I guess kind of an asterisk on it just because one, it is phase one, and two, The Incredible Hulk, the 2008 film is completely different and stands out to the universe they ended up building.
Yeah.
Sure, they took elements and they brought back characters from the Incredible Hulk, but it still doesn't that feels like an ugly stepchild, if I for lack of better term.
It
It's included, but is it like really actually
it's
part
it's
of the
like
MCU?
and like It's the bastard.
That being said, yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. That's a good way. Ugly
It's
stepchild.
what it is, like in a sense.
That being said, the other lowest parts of the MCU, or the lowest films, would be Captain America, the first Avenger, 375 or 370 million. Thor, the first one, 449 million. And Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which made 476 million. So
Damn, that's a gap there.
Captain America, the first Avenger, is technically the lowest scoring film. In the successful MCU, I think, oh, well, because I'm not including like Eternals, Shang-Chi, all within the COVID restrictions. My opinion, those are exempt. You kind of send those out to die. In the successful MCU, with no restrictions, I would say Ant-Man and the Wasp is the lowest grossing film in the MCU. Do you see it making more than $476 million?
I am manifesting that I hope it does. However, do I see those numbers? Do I see this movie hitting five? No, I see this movie hitting probably three.
3? Okay. So,
Three.
it's tracking a lower box office number than The Flash. And The Flash made 270 million, just for comparison. Now, depending on how actually good the film is, may get word out, people may go. Black Adam, it's also tracking, made 393 million. So so I think based on the script, if it does get the boost that it's an actual good film, I would safely say $500 million. If it's actually good.
Yeah.
We won't know until we talk about it Thursday night.
But
However.
like, for example, like Blue Beetle, right?
Yeah.
Very good film, very good script, very likable characters, great introduction to the character of Miguel. Of now, but obviously it's numbers, right?
Yeah.
Low. So it really just depends.
The
But then
only
again,
thing,
too, that's DC,
yeah,
obviously an introduction to a whole new character. This is the sequel in the MCU.
yeah, that has been Marvel.
Yeah,
That has been,
I'm aiming. I hope they make five. I hope they make five. If it's tracking lower, that sucks. I don't know if they have done pre-sale tickets already.
yeah, they have
Okay, perfect. And if it's tracking that based off those numbers, well,
the
we'll see. It's a
budget.
long weekend. It's technically people start going to see starting this. Going to start seeing this movie come Thursday. For those who are true fans, I want to see how many people are going to be in my movie theater. I haven't yet looked. Um, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 4 days to make that much money. Fingers
Well,
crossed.
well, not necessarily the 400 million or the 300. It's just tracking.
But a strong debut. Like if it's
Yeah,
at least 100 in a
yeah.
weekend, that'd be great, you know?
I still don't think the box office opening weekend has anything to do with, like, should say how good a film is. It isn't affect it, because if you do see low numbers, obviously people are going to be like less prone to see it. And if the films isn't good,
Yeah.
then
Well, people track more reviews and
yeah,
tomato scores, Metacritic scores more than they do with numbers.
it's
You
very
know, when
true.
someone says it's a flop and it's like 78 like Metascore, 99, 98 on Tomato Meter, they're gonna be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because they're basing it off obviously from critic opinion and also from an audience perspective. Um, I don't know, man.
Gonna be
Not
interesting.
looking good. I don't know. We're gonna have to find out, and you guys have to stay tuned until Friday to see this review,
Yep.
and then we'll be eating our words. Maybe I'll probably. I just this is what's gonna happen. It's funny that we're at the 40-minute mark. Short episode, my butt. Uh,
No, we said it'd be a long episode.
true. What is it? every time I see MCU movie in the movie theater, um, I get like I feel like a little kid.
I
I
feel
get
you.
so hyped. I get like all like my. If you're like if you've obviously you've been there for the 11 years, and even if you joined in the middle of it like I did, um, you feel this rush of like, oh my God, another MCU
Yep.
film.
Yep.
What's gonna happen? Everyone stay in their seats, post credit scene, yada yada yada. You hear like the banter talk about other people, you hear like all this stuff and everything that you went in through with your expectations will be like, let's see what's gonna happen. You leave and you're like, oh my God, like you just get back thrown in. Just get thrown in.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to feel that
Yeah.
again. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it.
I'm
So I'm
excited to
looking
see it.
forward to seeing this movie. Unfortunately, I mean numbers and everything. I just hope it sucks because the numbers do end up affecting the film no matter what, and the
Yeah.
characters and the plot. Because if it doesn't do good, they will either scrap it or won't continue or find something about it to do.
Hmm.
And I don't want them to do that. I want these characters to have. I want Captain Marvel to have a trilogy,
My
and I
favorite.
want them to redeem her character and have her be as integral as they hyped her up to be
Yeah.
within the MCU.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say and comment on. Um,
We want justice for Brie Larson's character.
straight up,
I want to like Captain Marvel. That's the thing. I want to like Captain Marvel, and I want to root for Brie Larson to have success in the MCU
I want a
because
better script for for Brie Larson.
there you go. I
I
think
want her
that's
character to be good and great
yeah.
and a captain.
Okay. You
Um,
ready for the mid topic? Not mid topic, but the middle topic.
yeah,
The middle
I did
short.
want to add one last MCU thing that I read and I thought it was funny and I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
Go ahead.
There was an interview recently with Jeremy Allen White, who, if you haven't don't know
I
who that is
saw
by
that.
name, he plays Slip in Shameless and is now the main guy in The Bear. But they had asked him. Apparently, MCU went up to him and was like, "Hey, we want you to be in this movie." Yada yada yada, and he literally was kind of like, it was probably my deliberation of why they turned me down, but basically the way I said it was, well, why, like, explain to me why I should be in your film. And the producers or whatever were like, "F you, we're gone." Like, why would it? It's kind of like saying, like, kind of in the sense of being like, "Do you know who we are?" Type
Yeah.
of thing. Like, people would jump at this opportunity. And when I read that, I thought it was so funny that I was thinking in my head that they probably went up to him with the part of Ben Grimm and were like, "You would be perfect. You would be fantastic for Ben Grimm." And then they were like, "You know what? Never
Interesting.
mind. We're gonna
Interesting.
go."
Okay.
But immediately I was like, "Can you see it though? Am I crazy to
Yeah.
to see Jeremy Allen White as Ben Grimm? I feel like I see it, like that.
The
This
voice.
even if he's covered in makeup,
Yeah.
he's already a short king. That man is like
Here's
5'6".
let me throw you a curveball. What if the role was for Harry Styles' role?
Oh, like Harry Styles got recasted.
No, no, no. Star Fox, like that's who they approached as well for the role.
Oh, prior to him getting casted.
I don't
Oh,
know how it got casted, but like what if they had him in mind as well? Like if Harry
interesting.
Styles said no, Harry Styles said no. Because like Harry Styles being who Harry Styles is, he could have easily said no and they're like, okay, on to the next. Obviously
Yeah.
every a studio always has, who they want to cast and then who actually gets casted, you
hmm
know? Like they wanted
That's a curveball.
yeah.
That's funny. I mean, Harry Styles is fine being an artist. I don't know of him getting more into acting. If you wanted to do that,
Yeah.
get an acting coach. But
Stick to
but
music, buddy.
Harold, there's a lane and you're crossing it.
Yeah.
But that's the last thing I wanted to say. I thought it was just funny. But in my head, for me, I was like,
It
Jeremy Allen
was
White,
it
Ben
was
Grimm.
it was yeah, I saw it was I had a chuckle. It was pretty good. I
He was because he was saying basically like he was like, well, what's the pinnacle of acting? Because he's like, what's the pinnacle of their careers? Is it just that? Because I think he's more focused on like as an actor's perspective to see, be like, will there be more like if I do this for so many years and contracts and everything, because this Marvel Cinematic Universe is not just one film, obviously. Where is my acting career going to be like left, like because he's
Yeah.
obviously thinking about it too. He was in a show for like 8 seasons. He was playing the same character.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't want to do that again. I mean, now yes, he's playing again. He's playing the bear and everything. That's only like he just got confirmed for third season too. But
That's
maybe he wants to do
new though.
more than television.
You know, that's still newer. He's not.
But yeah,
He hasn't been as committed to that as he was to Shameless. Shameless was probably 10 years total of his life. Getting
uh-huh.
casted, the end of it after all that was probably like, close to 10 hours, or excuse me, 10 years, 10 years, not 10 hours of his life. The bear has probably been like 3 to 4. So it's not, and with how everything is shooting now, there's probably bigger breaks in between shoots. So it's
Yeah,
not
so
like he is taking like a 3 month break and then going back. He's probably taking like a year break in actuality, because they're not shooting when the shows are releasing. At least I don't think, and they're definitely not shooting right now. So,
right, yeah, you're right.
but I'd love to
Yeah.
see him in an MCU project though. He's great. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he has such a good. I see it more obviously of like kind of leading into more method acting. Um, if he gets a role like that,
Yeah,
that requires that type of acting. But yeah. Last thing, moving forward,
yeah.
Stranger Things 5.
Stranger Things 5. So the writers of Stranger Things came on and said, so here's the thing. We know the episode's called The Crawl because they confirmed that about a year ago. And it was called, so the episode's called The Crawl, but they posted the first scene. So they said it's a photo, and I'll put it up right here. Season 5, Chapter 1, Scene 1. Mind you, it may get cut. However, this is what they see fit right now. And on the script it says darkness in bold. So that's setting, obviously that's your setting. And then it says the sound of cold wind, groaning trees, and a child's voice singing a familiar song, singing a familiar song. And then that's where it cuts off. Who do you think is singing?
I'm guessing the song. I'm trying to guess the song because it will lead me to think who the child is, if that makes
So
sense.
the biggest like theory is that it's gonna be like a flashback, and it's gonna be Will in the Upside Down when he was in the actual Upside Down, and he's singing "Should I Stay or Should I Go." Here's
Oh,
what I think. Here's what I would hope it to
that's
be.
good. That's good.
Here's what I'd hope it to be, and because they're obviously hyping it up with such a mysterium, I would love for it to be Dustin singing to Susie, and it's the Never Ending Story song, just to throw us off, just to piss us off, just to make it seem so important that they're posting this script, this photo of a script, and it's not even not that it's not important that Dustin sings,
Oh
but
my
that it
God.
is him and Susie just singing the Never Ending Story as a
Those are
joke.
two very fun and pretty possible theories there for sure. They
That's
could
what
really
I.
be like, you thought the season? No, season 4 was incredible, man. I
Perfect.
I remember watching it, and I mean, everybody was sad.
Yeah.
It was a year ago, literally. I think around this time, maybe
Little over a year ago.
a little over a year now.
Yeah.
And oh man, just like I mean, I'm excited. When is this predicted to come out again? What, 2025?
Not anytime soon now, though. Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
There was that rumor recently that Millie Bobby Brown wasn't coming back for this season, and I'm just like, man, you like some of the things that people say are like dumb because it's just like, dude, she's locked in,
Yeah.
like she's
That's
got a
a contract.
contract, yeah,
Yeah.
like she signed this
Girl.
as a kid. She's probably locked in. Well, the moment she got hired, they're like 5 seasons. That's your contract obligation if it doesn't get canceled. It's just like, come on.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows she's done. She wants to move on.
Of
I get
course. And
that.
I totally understand. I mean, almost everybody who's been in a project like such as long, pushing 5 plus 10 years, will be like, you know what, I'm done with this character. I think I've done enough. They feel that as an actor, they've been them for so long, they know them. They can turn it on, turn it off whenever. But in terms of like relating back to the topic, That's great. I'm glad you brought that song up because I was trying to think of it. But yeah, I think it definitely that's a really cool introduction because obviously this fifth season is going to be solely based on Will Byers.
Yeah,
And now instead of him being kind of sidelined, like in the last season, um,
all the seasons really.
pretty much, man. At this point, you got to stop crying and face up, and you got to fight this thing. You were abducted, bro. You were a victim for so long. You got to start being a freaking
Well,
fighter.
it's not his fault. His writing, they have not known what to do with Will after him getting abducted. That's at least how I see it.
It sucks though because like you made so many freaking awesome characters special. I mean, my favorites are Dustin and Max.
Yeah.
Those two are my those are oh no, hang on. What am I saying? Nancy Wheeler, Nancy run them down Wheeler because she always stays strapped and she always saves the day.
True.
Her, Max, Dustin. And obviously, oh God, I'm being an idiot. Can't complain. I can't Steve Harrington. Okay, I have five. I have five. Sorry.
What is it?
I have
Farrah
four.
Fawcett hairspray.
Yeah.
Farrah Fawcett hairspray.
Farrah Fawcett hairspray. Yeah, those are my key players. If all of those four people live, which with the unlikeness of Max, because I feel like they might just kill her off.
Maybe. The season is going to be important. We know that.
I'm okay.
Season.
It has to be, or I want her to have like an after death scene where she like reunites with Matt with her older brother.
Yeah.
Like give us that.
I hope
Give us
like
give us something that she's like happy in the afterlife. But predictions, obviously, I thinking maybe if they're gonna do you think they're gonna do like a part 1, part 2 again?
Yeah, 100%. How could you not? Who knows? Maybe the final. Okay, hear me out. Part 1 and part 2, and then the finale is like a giant movie, but like it's released and advertised as a movie onto Netflix.
Ooh, that's sick. Part 1 is the show. Part 2 is the movie.
No. Part 2 is still like how they did it in season 4, but then there's a part 3, and that's like a 3.5 hour.
3.5 hours? No.
Yo, come on. Let's be real. Let's be real. Dude, they did 2.5 hours already. They got to go big.
Chill. All right. 3.5 hours, but it must be shot all in IMAX. Stuffer Brothers, do it.
Damn. Okay. I like
70 millimeter.
I like where you're going
Nothing
with
less.
Here's the thing, and here's another
in 3D.
I'll throw you another curveball. It's shown on Netflix, but they're like, hey, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard or whatever time they choose to do. And it's like a worldwide event where everybody's watching the finale of Stranger Things at the same time.
But you have to pay for it because obviously Netflix being Netflix.
Yeah, there you go. See, we're planning these events for them.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy that Netflix is $17.99 now. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. What do you got for our final topic though?
I have just a quick update on the SAG-AFTRA agreements, but basically. So this is coming from Variety. Love these guys. It's by Gene Modis, and the headline is "Studios adjust AI language and push to end SAG-AFTRA strike." Hollywood's major studios have agreed to adjust language on artificial intelligence as they move closer to a contract agreement to end the 117-day SAG-AFTRA strike. Union negotiators met Monday night with leaders of the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. In the meeting, the two sides appear to have resolved some of the pending issues on AI, which has become the central focus of talks over the last 10 days. SAG-AFTRA leaders are set to meet this afternoon with the union's negotiating committee. The hope is that the latest movement on AI will be enough to seal the deal. The union issued a statement on Monday afternoon saying that there remain differences on several essential items, including AI. The union delivered its latest formal proposal to the AMPTP on Monday morning after working a 12-hour day on Sunday. Aside from AI, the union was still working on mechanisms to apportion a new bonus in streaming residuals. The studios have offered to award actors 100% bonus on their standard streaming residual if they appear on one of the most watched TV shows on the platform. The deal also includes a sizable bump in minimum rates, which studios have characterized as the largest increase in 40 years. It's expected to be in the 7 to 8% range in most cases, less than the 11% that the SAG-AFTRA sought, but higher than the 5% that the AMPTP agreed into deals with the Writers and Directors Union. The AMTP issued its last, best, and final offer on Friday. On Saturday, a large group of CEOs held a Zoom meeting with Fran Drescher, the president of SAG-AFTRA, and Crabtree Ireland, the chief negotiator, to encourage them to take the deal. The studios have warned that the deal needed imminently in order to salvage a portion of the broadcast TV schedule. As the days go by, more and more feature films have been postponed as well. It's not yet clear whether the changes agreed to on Monday would win the endorsement of the union's negotiating committee. The union was said to have reached a common understanding on certain thorny AI issues, such as how to handle an AI consent in the event that an actor dies. But the union did not get every item on its list. The AMTP has committed to continue meeting over the next 2.5 years until the next negotiation discusses AI as the technology advances. That's a key part there. I know it's a long article and a lot to digest, but basically to dumb it down, one of those key factors is that they're trying to use AI to benefit. If an actor does die, they can still use their face and recognition and voice in future projects. What?
Here's the thing.
What?
This is funny because not only were they were trying to do that, they're pushing to how to quote unquote handle how to handle AI when an actor or actress dies. They were also going out and purchasing likeness or the AI models of already deceased actors and actresses to use in their projects. Apparently, it was also without consent on the family's parts. Obviously, Hollywood, they probably necessarily don't need legal consent. They can probably just go and do it, which is so shady. The thing is that let's speak hypothetical. All right.
There's a thing. Hang on. Okay, I'll listen to the hypothetical.
Let's speak hypothetical. Let's just say Robert Downey Jr. does return to the MCU, and then they purchased his AI model or whatever, and then he goes and unfortunately passes. We are getting Iron Man 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're going to need a whole new number, you know?
That is so freaky to think about.
There will be Hollywood stars living for hundreds and hundreds of years if they're able to just use these actors and actresses that end up passing, and they're able to just throw them into a film. Like, oh, he's going to be a main character through AI.
But then, the hypothetical just gets worse because then it's like, why cast anything or anybody? Why even have set producers or directors? Or actually, obviously, you're going to have your director. Why cast anybody and just make the entire film based on deceased actors and actresses?
Yeah.
And have it roll out like that.
Yeah. It'd be an easy fix, right? You don't have to hire anybody because you have enough stock. Or not, I don't say stock, but you have enough of actors and actresses that you can use.
I'm glad you mentioned Iron Man as an example, or Robert Downey Jr. as an example, because come to think of it, why would they want the likeness of an actor if in an emergency they do die? I could see it in a sense where they're filming, right? And they somehow die halfway through filming
or
by a terrible accident.
Situation.
What happened?
Or like Chadwick Boseman's situation.
Right. Or but that happens. But I'm also thinking about maybe it's a project that goes on for so long. Actually, it's exactly the Chadwick Boseman situation.
Yeah.
And then them wanting to use that actor again, obviously. Well, did the residuals even get to their estate? Because obviously, people that are famous have estates like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, so let's say, for example, Tarkin from Star Wars, right? He was in the original trilogy, the older fella. He's showed up in other projects. If they use his likeness, I'm pretty sure they send a check to the family, who's ever in charge of handling that, and it's sent out to the family. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure.
I sure hope so.
and I'm sure with Chadwick Boseman, The footage that they used of his, like the stock footage, they sent to his family. You know, for
Yeah.
whatever his percentage was or what he would have gotten. Um, but I have a so they want 11% residuals.
But they're settling for 7 to 8.
Do I'm I don't want to sound like a jerk. Do you feel like 11 is just like reaching for too much?
I don't know because percentages like that confuse me. To be honest, like whenever there's a car commercial and they're like, "Oh, with only 0% APV or whatever
Yeah.
APR," and you're like, "What does that mean?" That's I'm one of those people. I gotta dumb it down for me. I gotta see exactly, and I don't feel like maybe. I mean, the fact they're asking for 11 is probably because it's like that's a guaranteed number. You also got to factor in the fact that it hasn't been that much in 40 years.
Yeah.
So they've been paid underpaid for that much. I wouldn't say or wouldn't
That's a good
feel
point.
like
Studios
I
can
wouldn't
afford it. Good point.
exactly
Yeah.
like bro, you're making so much money and I'm only getting this much.
Yeah.
No, like that sucks. I feel like that, especially in 40 years, like you built your staff, you built your studios, you've done these projects, so forth, especially if a studio like the Marvel Studios, if you know.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think that's too. I don't think it's reaching. I'm
Because it
glad they're getting a
says,
bonus too. I think anybody should get paid extra for fun.
yeah. I think, well, because you read it, they want a sizable bump in the minimum wage. So basically, the minimum of what they would get paid, and
Yeah,
it's instead of they want 11%, but it's expected to be 7 to 8.
yeah, which is already like a good 2 or 3 more%
What I
than what
wonder, I
the
don't know
original was.
what the percentage was prior, but obviously it was less than five.
Of course, yeah, because they were pushing. Yeah,
It was less than five. So like, let's say it's three. They want an 8%. That's where it's just like, okay, I don't want to say it kind of sounds a little unrealistic, but that's where it's like, okay, like if they got like a 5%, like eight, like the eight, like they're averaging, okay. But when you start pushing 8, maybe 10, closer to the 10% raise, like that's a lot to ask. Like that really is,
um,
you know.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
movie studios are probably like they're making so much money.
Yeah.
The
Well, it
studio
depends
itself,
on the
like they're
studio
making
too,
so
though,
much. It depends on the studio for sure. Of course, like
because
more independent studios that are just coming up are
yeah,
different. But obviously maybe those up and coming ones have different pay, because they've been part of that
yeah,
same workforce as well and understand the do's and don'ts, hopefully,
yeah.
and
Because
continue off of that. I guess like I don't know.
I look at it like this, like we know Disney can pay that 11%, no
Of
problem.
course.
But a smaller studio, let's just say like something like Paramount or even like Warner Brothers, you know, and then Disney goes and buys them, and this 11%
Well,
begins.
technically, let's talk about best example would be like Apple Studios, right? Even
That's
though
true.
actually
No,
that's
you're right. Well, no, when you pump $1 billion into your film franchise, yeah, that's not a small studio, but their
yeah.
films are going to flop. At least it seems like
Yeah.
in
I
their
mean, Warner
theaters.
Brothers had a hit with Barbie. The last time they had a hit with what Harry Potter.
Well, yeah,
Um,
they've had a
Paramount.
couple bangers, but Warner Brothers doesn't consistently have the financial leverage and flexibility the way Disney does. Disney can go and buy Fox, no problem, and buy Hulu and merge all those projects together, no problem. So,
Yeah,
you know, I don't know. This is pretty interesting, though. Uh,
it's yeah. That's the whole. I think I want to ask a dumb question, but it's like it just sounds dumb, but it's like shouting it out into the void is sounds more likable. But
ask it.
it's like where's the morality when it comes to these studios? Where does it end? Do you even have any morality left being
There,
Hollywood?
no,
Um, it has there ever been?
yeah, really,
But is there room for growth and change? Absolutely. And I think you guys should give them what they're asking for instead of trying to meet a medium.
yeah, for sure. It's tough. It's tough because like from like even like from the standpoint of the business, at some point, you can't because you can't like because like the 11% in my opinion, like I don't me personally, I think that's asking for a lot. The 7 to 8, I don't think is like crazy, you know. But it's just like because at one point are you, you don't have those leverages because at the end of the day, studios yes do need to make a profit. Do they need to make as big as a profit as they need to now? Definitely not. But the studios do still need to profit to be able to continue to front money for projects and front money to, or, and to green light all these projects that we do love, you know? But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
The
tough.
problem though being is that right now the conglomerate is the MCU,
Yeah.
and it's mostly kind of based off that. Um,
Yeah. But even
so
that
to think of
is,
any other like studio, that's why they're suffering because like they're gaining all the money and they're trying to put out projects and it's kind of like not benefiting there too. So
yeah,
it is kind of a good situation to be in because of so and so. But man, I don't
100%.
know. That's insane to me that they're trying to use dead actors and actresses moving forward.
That's shady. That is some
That's
shady stuff.
insane. That's insane. I think that's insane. I
I,
don't
th-
know. Um,
I think that's something that needs to be like absolutely shot down and be like, we're not even going to open up that table of
yeah,
discussion.
like why was that even brought into
Yeah.
conversation at all? Why was who was sane enough to be like, hey guys, you know what? You know what sounds really fun?
Oh, those are studio executives who were like, well, we can buy dead actors and actresses likeness, and when somebody doesn't want to, when somebody's asking too much, we can go in and put that person in the film. 100%, 100%. It's like some of the stuff like the studio does is just predictable.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
future of AI is insane though. I don't it's just
it's
scary and the fact that it's getting closer and closer, more of like reality, just entering a dystopian AI world.
yeah, really. Hmm.
But not to end on a bitter note, just that was the topic. I
Yeah,
think that was very interesting and also obviously an upgrade. Hopefully we'll see within this week where exactly this lies and when the strikes will be over so that way everything
that's
gets
this
moved
question I want to
forward.
ask you really quick before we fully wrap this up. You
Yeah,
think the deal gets done by the end of the year?
I hope so.
I think it does.
I
It
sure hope
feels
so.
like there's progress every day, but there's more light on how corrupt and how shady the studios are being
Yeah.
released every day.
I wish we had like an insider that was like, hey, and we can like tell us and be like, this is what's actually going on, you guys. And
I don't know if
it's
they'd
like
be at liberty to talk about it though.
NDA, huh?
Yeah, I don't think they're at liberty to talk about it probably yet. But
Someone out there who is part of this movement
yeah,
has probably broken that NDA and has talked and just mentioned
probably.
it probably to like their parents
I'm sure,
or or like your best friend and was like, dude,
but
you really want to know what's going on?
NDAs are put in place so that you don't talk to any,
News,
yeah, news
like,
outlets, media outlets. Yeah, you ready to wrap this up though?
yeah, yeah, sign us off, man.
All right. Thank you guys for hopefully watching. If you're not, then you should be. You should definitely be watching. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's the link is in the description below, but it's going to be youtube.com/@ourreal addiction, and all our links to our social media are going to be on there. Don't forget to like, comment, and obviously subscribe and hit the bell notification because we'd appreciate it, and share it with somebody you love. But yeah,
I love that.
that is gonna do it for episode
148.
148 question mark of our real addiction. As always, I'm Adam,
And I'm Miguel.
and this is our real addiction. Sic Parvis Magna.
Sick Parvis Magna, everybody.